Going into the season, the Oklahoma City Thunder was everybody's favorite league pass team, and for good reason. They've been collecting young talent over the past few seasons, and of course they are led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is fast ascending to, well, if he isn't already, but basically at a superstar level. And last year, the Oklahoma City Thunder had a massive jump in wins. They went from 24 in the 2021-22 season to 40 wins last year, and that was without their top lottery pick, Chet Holmgren, who missed the entire season last year because of a foot injury he had in the Seattle Pro Am last summer. But regardless, the Thunder still won 40 games. They made the play-in. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had a first-team All-NBA selection, well-deserved. And this year, through preseason and in the regular season, Chet Holmgren has showed out, and man, this dude is going to be a cheat code for this Oklahoma City Thunder team for years to come. So let's talk about Chet Holmgren and why that is, because the Thunder have sort of formed this identity since Mark Daigneault took over in the 2020-21 season. The Oklahoma City Thunder have this identity of a drive and kick team. Under Daigneault, since he took over, the Thunder have led the NBA in drives per game in every season, and not just lead the NBA, but lead the NBA with a bullet. Every year the Thunder led the league in drives per game. They were the only team to have over 60 drives per game. And this year they are number one again, with the Indiana Pacers tailing close behind them, but I imagine as the season gets longer, as we move along in the season, the Thunder are probably going to separate themselves again, because led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and a team takes on the identity of their best player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander every year under Mark Daigneault has led the league in drives per game by a fucking mile. And the Thunder with Josh Giddey, Jalen Williams, who was great last year for them as a rookie as well, also drafted in the lottery. They have 3 players now this season so far that are in the top 30 in drives per game, and Chet Holmgren fits that identity perfectly. Why do you say that? Because Chet Holmgren, while he is not in the top 50 in terms of drives per game in the league, if you just limit it down to centers, Chet Holmgren is in the top 5 very firmly at just over 6 drives a game, and he's in the optimal role because with the players that are surrounding Chet Holmgren, they are able to drive and kick out to a guy who is 7'1", has the skills of a guard with a more tightened handle, and not only that, shooting a high percentage from 3 so far this season. Chet Holmgren is getting optimal shots in optimal positions because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is collapsing the defense. Josh Giddey is driving to the basket, and with his size, he's able to find Chet Holmgren in the corners. Chet Holmgren can also be a trail 3 guy. The Thunder are going to probably explore more ways to use Chet Holmgren as the season moves along, because there are even some flashes of Chet Holmgren being a savvy passer. He had a nice behind the back transition pass one time a few games ago, and he's making simple reads because the defense has collapsed and he has a lot of talent around him. So things are coming a little bit easier to him, and it's good for his development and to get that confidence, obviously. But there's ways to use him in dribble handoffs. There is even in the Warriors game, Chet Holmgren would call up a guard to set a screen, and that would completely discombobulate the defense, and he would kick it out to the perimeter for an Isaiah Joe 3 or a Cason Wallace 3. Chet Holmgren has a very versatile skill set, and the fact that the Thunder are not messing around and are actually starting him at center and not at power forward and, putting the other Jalen Williams at center or something like that to protect him, the Thunder are just rolling him out at center, and I love that for the Thunder because the Thunder are big across the board. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 6'6". Jalen Williams, 6'6". Josh Giddey, 6'8". Lou Dort, 6'5", but that dude is built like a fucking middle linebacker. And then you got Chet Holmgren, who, he's wiry, but I think he's wiry strong. And yeah, he'll probably have to put on some more functional weight, but he's tough. He's an asshole on the court, it seems like. He's competitive as hell, and he has handle. He can shoot the 3, and when a defender closes out on him, Chet Holmgren can just blow by him with his handle and quickness, because he's usually quicker than the guy that's coming out to contest his three. And with his long strides and his long arms, he's able to finish around the cup. Chet Holmgren is playing really efficiently right now, and it's because of that drive and kick system. And Chet Holmgren is kind of the cherry on top, because it is a bitch to try to stop this Thunder team from getting to the rack. And when you have an outlet like Chet Holmgren with that skill set to kick out to, it just puts even more pressure on the defense, because now Chet Holmgren has all this space to attack and eat up while the defense is still scrambling off of a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander drive and they try to put 2 on the ball, or a Josh Giddey drive when help gets sucked in. Or with the way Lou Dort has been shooting the ball to start the season, teams are actually kind of running out to Lou Dort a little harder now, and that just opens up so much for Chet Holmgren. He can pick his spots, and I think he's still trying to strike that balance of when to get into his own bag and when to, just be the 4th or 5th option on the team and be the guy that attacks the closeout. But this is a process. This is only, 7 games now in for Chet Holmgren, so he's going to figure it out. And I'm sure the Thunder, like I mentioned, they're going to figure out more ways to use him, because he's done a little bit of dribble handoff actions. In that Warriors game, like I mentioned, he called for guard screens and was able to get into the paint and spray it out to shooters. There's just a lot of interesting, versatile things the Thunder can do, especially with this roster and that starting 5. And it's just very exciting if you're a Thunder fan, because this is one of the best young cores in the NBA. Sam Presti has done a good job acquiring all this talent, picking the right guys in the lottery. I know Josh Giddey's starting off a little slow offensively to start this season, but I'm not worried about him. Also, development isn't linear. Josh Giddey will figure it out. But then on the other end, Chet Holmgren, he can battle on the defensive end, and he's a damn good shot blocker. I'm just really impressed by Chet Holmgren, because he does a lot of things on the offensive end already. And yes, while he is surrounded by very awesome teammates, his skill set also helps them, because now you're kicking it out to the corner with a 7-foot guy shooting corner threes in transition, especially after a Chet Holmgren block. Or if the Thunder get the rebound, they have 5 guys literally who can grab the rebound and go at any point. And then Chet Holmgren can be a trail 3-point shooter. There's just a lot of things the Thunder can do with that. And the fact that Chet Holmgren is very active on the defensive end, yeah, he might get moved sometimes, but you better watch out when you shoot that ball, because his wingspan is going to come across your face and block that shot. He's had a few possessions where he just stonewalls people at the rim. In the Cavs game tonight, he stonewalled Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen a few times, but the Thunder got a good one. And the last thing NBA teams wanted to see was the preeminent drive and kick team in the NBA getting an outlet with the skill set of Chet Holmgren, because he's a Chet code.